Welcome to the Cardi and Coffee Knitting Podcast. My name is Mackenzie. I'm Cardi and Coffee. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram also at Cardi and Coffee, and on Ravelry as Cardi Knits. Yeah. Today is the August. It's episode 3, and it is our August roundup. Let's start with, I'm wearing a Labyrinth t-shirt underneath it, but today I'm wearing the Seawall cardigan. Mine is all superwash, so it's stretched quite a bit, so it is a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be, so take that with a grain of salt. I did an autumnal marled version that I'm very happy with. It's very big, it's very cozy, and it comes out in a couple of weeks. The end of the test is the 9th of September, so it's coming. It's a lovely cardigan if you're looking for something fun, bulky weight. It's knit top down, flat, and there's no seaming, so it's pretty great, and it has this fantastic folded little button band. That's the word for that. So yes, yeah. I'm also, a mug of the day is this fun little number by Morel Pottery. It's like the mushroom. It's like morel mushrooms. I think Morel Pottery. I think that's how you say the mushroom name. It's a fun. She's an Alaskan potter from up in Fairbanks, and I love her pieces. She has some that like the little slots have an outhouse in them, and I really want one of those. If you've lived in Alaska off grid, you get the outhouse thing. It's kind of a fun little symbol in Alaska. I don't know. I love it. But let's get into. Oh no, I forgot to grab my one finished object. 1 second. Okay, and we're back. So the one finished object I have from the second half of August is I made myself a little mushroom headband with the cute little mushroom guys. I really want a pair of earrings with those little mushrooms, so I'm probably gonna have to make myself a pair of those at some point. But yeah, this is the one object I finished. I made, if you watched the last podcast, you'll have seen, I made one of my best friends, one of these with the red caps on it. She loved it. She does not watch the podcast, so it was not spoiled for her, thank goodness, because I showed it quite a bit before I mentioned it. Was not watching where my hands were going. But I decided to make myself one with purple mushroom caps because I really like Stardew Valley, and I just love the little purple mushrooms in there. I think they look so pretty. So I have a mushroom headband now, a mushroom headband, and that is by Moody Juice Crochet on YouTube. I'll put names and links in the doobly-doo. Yeah, so that's the one object I finished this month. So let's move on to whips. I have a new whip. This is the Arrowroot Beanie by Kelly Menzies, Roro and Cades. I cast this on to walk around the state fair and knit. So I wanted something that's super easy, light, and since all my projects are either too complicated or too big right now, I thought it was a good time to get started on this. I'm making this for my brother. I made him one before for Christmas a few years back, and he knows not to send wool through the dryer. He's like, I have no idea what happened. Brain fell out of head for a moment, and he sent it through the dryer. So it did not. It's tiny. It's tiny. It might fit a child. It will not fit him. So I'm finally making him a second one. This is the same yarn. It was a huge skein, so I was like, well, luckily I have enough. I can make you a second one from the same color. no harm, no foul. I don't actually remember what this yarn is. I bought it a couple of years ago on clearance from a local yarn store. It is hand dyed. And I want to say it has silk in it. I think from the sheen alone, I think it does. I think it is a wool, maybe a merino silk blend. It's nice. It's soft. It's pretty. It's shiny. It's a beautiful berry purpley kind of color, which is right up his alley. I bought it with him in mind. Yeah. Just have my giant blossomy robe. Find your fade shawl. I did not finish this. I did not even get through this one color. I'm very close. I've got another lace section in this color, and then I'm on to the next one. But I'm falling a little bit out of love with knitting some of the knits I've got going on. I think just one second, I've done something here. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I managed to hook the needle through one of the lower loops on it, and it took a minute to unravel that. So I have oh no, that's a stitch marker. This is the stitch marker from where I was when you guys last saw it. So it's kind of difficult because it's a winged shawl, but not very much, not very far. And I have done quite a bit more on it. I have this lace repeat, and then I start melding in the next color. So I'm very close to the next color. I am also, this past month was very fingering weight yarn heavy, and I do like fingering weight yarn, but I just kind of, I think, got a little bit burned out on it. Usually I try to have at least one other project that's like a DK or a worsted when I'm doing a fingering weight heavy month, and that just didn't happen in August with what I wanted to work on and what I was trying to get finished. So yeah, a little bit burned out on fingering weight yarn, I think. So I'm probably gonna put a pause on the Find Your Fade. I'm still really enjoying it, but as like the rows are getting longer and longer, and I'm trying to get through other things, and I have other things that I want to knit, it's taking a bit of a background. It's on my Make 9, so I am hoping to get it finished this year, but my September is really busy, and so I kind of just want to knit something new, something fun, get a bit of a refresh, and then I'll go back to the Find Your Fade. So yeah, the other whip I have, actually I've got 2 more whips that I have that you guys have seen, and this is my Moon Glade. Well, it's for my mom, but the Moon Glade, and my cute little sheepy bag that I love so much. So I did not get the sleeves done, but I did get it enough that I had my mom try it on, and we were able to kind of figure out what she wanted, how it was gonna fit. Got ends tweeting everywhere. Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, so last time I think I had just split for sleeves, or was just about to split for sleeves. Something like that. I think just split for sleeves. So yeah, there's a little marker from last time. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, gonna move markers. Doo, doo, doo. Okay. So yeah, so that's where I was last time you guys saw it. So we've made a decent bit of progress. This has kind of become my like popcorn knit, as I've been calling it. So I watch a lot of foreign language things in general. I've been watching a lot of K-dramas and movies like that recently. So I like to have a knit on the go that is just simple stockinette, is just an easy rib pattern, something that I don't have to watch my hands because I'm reading subtitles. I know some people do dubbed, which is fine. I like hearing the actors' voices, especially I was watching The Silent Sea, and I adore Gongyu. I adore Gongyu so much, and I love his voice, so like I don't want to watch it dubbed because part of what I enjoy is hearing his voice. So yeah, so I don't watch things dubbed, so I like to have a simple knit, and so this is currently my just simple popcorn knit. So this one's not being paused for September. Can I move that marker while I'm thinking about it? I'm not pausing this one for September, but it's not a priority. It's taking a background seat, not a background seat. It's going to the background. It's taking a back seat. Words. Yeah, still really enjoying it. My mom is super excited for it. She tried it on and she was just glowing. She's incredibly knit-worthy. My family in general is incredibly knit-worthy. My mom is just, she was like, I'm just gonna put this on, I'm gonna take it to work, I'm gonna brag. So very knit-worthy person. Yeah, so this is my easy knitting. Classes for me start up again this month, so I will also be knitting on that during school. So I should hopefully, between school and TV and things like that, I got a good couple inches on it last night while watching Space Sweepers. I'll get through the stockinette hopefully this month, and then I can finish it up in October. I do like the lace patterns though, so like it's entirely possible that if I get through the stockinette before the end of this month that I will focus on this, because it is a really nice lace pattern. I really do enjoy it, but we'll see. You can see my knitting chaos. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Next and final whip, knocking my notes off, is the Sara Cardi, and this is a design that I'm working on. I've gotten the bottom, I've gotten every wall plan. Last time it was a stack of squares, so I seamed everything together, as you can see, and I got the bottom rib done. I got one of the sleeves done. I just finished this last night actually. And then I have to do the button band and the second sleeve, and then it'll be ready for write-up. So I'm hoping to get this one done. This one still is a focal parody knit. I'm hoping to get it done this week, and I should be able to. I don't have too much left, and it's a bulky weight, so it works up quickly. So yeah, but you can see the colors that my mom chose. She's very excited for it. I told her it kind of looks very Hobbit core. Like you've picked perfect Hobbit colors. So yeah, so this is, words, language, things. Yes, so I'm trying to get this done, and then I'm not, like I said before, September is gonna be a really busy month for me. So I'm not super stressed about getting this pattern written up crazy fast. I'm hoping to kind of have the pattern done by the end of September, but I'm not really stressing about it because I have a lot going on. So yeah, and I'm doing it to where I'm weighing and figuring out the yardage for like each square and for each part of the sleeve, since the sleeve is two-toned. Figuring out like what this weight and yardage is, what it is here, what the cuff is, what the yardage is for the bottom band, and then for the button band. Because I really want people to be able to like personalize it. If you want, you know, just 3 colors, then you know how much you kind of need. If you have a bunch of scrappy yarn, you know, like make the cuffs different colors, make each square different colors. I'm planning one for myself slowly, using up extra yarn and doing kind of maybe a marled version and making one to where like I can just like make a square, set it down, make a square, set it down, something like that. So yes, I want it to be personalizable, and I also want it to be like, if someone wants it to be a little bit longer, that you can just add another row of squares. It'll affect your yardage, but you'll know how many yards you need per square, and so you know I'm going to add on 9 more squares. You can do the math for that. You can take kind of that control and agency, and that will affect, I mean, like the button band yardage as well, but yeah, it should be personalizable. It should be fun. I want it to be an enjoyable knit for people. So I have nowhere to set things. We're going on the floor. Going on the floor. So yeah, so that's kind of where my whips are at. Like I said, I'm feeling a little bit stale, is the word I want, with some of my, with my abundance of fingering weight whips. I have some new things I want to cast on. I've not formalized what I'm going to be casting on. I know I've got a Argyle vest I'm doing for my mom this month, because she's got a conference coming up and loves Argyle, and so I'm going to do that. It's a worsted weight though, so I'm not too worried about the time that one will take. Yeah, I've got that. I've got a sweater I want to cast on for myself, but I need to pick which sweater. So yeah, so I'll be doing some different ones. So you'll see different things at the mid-September podcast than you've seen to date, hopefully. Hopefully I'll be making decent progress on them. But mostly I'm just trying to have fun right now. And that's enough, I think, you know. So yeah. On to yarn. I do actually have yarn this podcast. Again, some of this is actually recently bought, some of it's not. Most of it's not recently purchased. But first up, we have Treehouse Knits. She did a Gilmore Girls collection, which, if you know me, that is one of my comfort shows. It's one of my go-to shows. It's one of my, like, just, I'm stressed, I need something calming on in the background. I rewatch it probably once a year, fairly handily. In a similar vein, or things like Discovery of Witches. Yeah. So I saw that she was doing that. The Treehouse Knits was doing a Gilmore Girls collection, and I was like, well, I'm gonna need some of that. So first up is I Live in Two Worlds. This is on spruce sock. I think I got almost all of them in spruce sock because I'm planning either doing socks or single skein shawls, and so then I can do either with them. Free and easy. Here on that. What happens when you have a house full of long-haired people. So yeah, so it's this really pretty blue. I think she said it was kind of inspired by like Rory and like the Chilton and the Yale with the blue and the greens, and I love it. I used to get Rory associations a lot as a kid because I have similar book consuming tendencies. I'm not a Rory. I'm very much more of a Lorelai, but I like the association with you read a ton of books. We know a book loving character. Like, I get it. So yeah, I've just been sitting here spinning this. Thumbnail photos. Yeah, and this one. So I also got. I'm All In. I love Luke and Lorelai, and I'm just gonna. The light's a little bit weird today. Sorry if they're kind of blowing out. But they're similar-ish kind of colors, which I like that they're a little bit similar. Luke's is a little bit lighter. It's a lot more blue than I Live in Two Worlds is. Hair my yeah, so I got this specifically to go with Lorelai. You watched the previous podcast episodes, you'll have heard me say I'm not a big pink person. I don't wear it close to my face. I don't wear it close to skin. I like it as a color. I have a very pink undertone. And so there's like dark pinks that I like, but I don't do a lot of light pinks. And so like this is such a Lorelai color. It's so perfect. I was like, yes, you absolutely nailed that. Devastated I can't make a sweater out of it. So I got socks, and these I am going to make socks with because like I said, I'm not wearing this next to skin. It's a beautiful color. It's just not a next to skin color for me. So I'm going to make myself 2 pairs of socks with these, one with I'm All In as the main color and Lorelai as the contrast, and one with Lorelai as the main color and I'm All In as the contrast. And they're going to be my romantic Luke and Lorelai socks because I like them as a couple. I like their storyline in the revival. I thought it was really good. I don't know. I like that space about having like that friend and just having that space of love. And even when there's ups and downs and things, like they managed to make it work and they managed to figure it out. And maybe they don't match perfectly, but they match really well. It makes me happy. Also, Luke reminds me a little bit of my dad sometimes. So when he's being a little bit grumpy, I'm like, oh, it's my dad. So I'm very fond of Luke's character because I'm very fond of my dad. And so, yeah, the gruff fondness, very much is my father. And so I'm excited for that. I also got a skein of Team Jess. So this is blowing out a little bit. It's a bit darker and moodier in person. This is also spruce sock, but I am leaning towards a shawl with this one. I think I am leaning towards a single skein shawl. I think unsurprising given how fond I am of Luke. I'm also very fond of Jess. I do think he's one of the better, maybe not while they're dating, Rory boyfriends, but in the long run, one of the best of her boyfriends. I know this is a contentious topic. I stand by it. Rory was good for Logan. Logan was not good for Rory. And Dean is a bit of a jerk at the end. Like, he's a little bit controlling. He's a little bit manipulative. One of my best friends was rewatching it and she messages me and she's like, I don't remember disliking Dean this much the first time. She's like, he's a little bit controlling. I don't think I like it. And I'm like, yeah, I've been saying this for years. In their first relationship, like a little bit, he's great. He's a great first boyfriend. And then he gets really weird and jealous and possessive. And I don't like that. Jess's habit of not confessing anything and then confessing and running away, not great. That's unideal in a person. But he's like kind of the partner that we see get Rory, I think, the best. You came here for yarn, and what you're getting is Mackenzie's thoughts on Gilmore Girls. It's bonus. If you like Gilmore Girls. If you don't like Gilmore Girls, well, this is what's happening. You can skip ahead. Yeah. So I like him in the revival. I like how we still see that kind of support space and that friend space. And I like how he's the one that when Rory's kind of having her break and crazy space, that is kind of just like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Who have you become? You know, and not like in a I expected better of you kind of way, but like, who are you turning into? Like, this is not the person I knew. And I like that kind of having someone who she trusts the opinion of, who's like not seen her go through this from beginning to end, kind of come into the middle of her in this spiral space and kind of just be like, oh my god, dude. I like, and I love tealy deep greens, I love deep greens. One of my favorite colors. I'm a green girl. Yeah. Team Jess and thoughts on Gilmore Girls. And the final Gilmore Girls yarn is it takes a remarkable person to inspire all of this. So this is what Richard says to Lorelai at the end of the series. And it is the last interaction that we get to see with Richard. Because Edward Herman, the actor for him, passed away before the revival, which was very sad. I love him. I think he's a brilliant actor. He's one of those kind of like constantly present actors in my childhood. We watched like things like Overboard. He's a minor character in that. He's also in The Lost Boys, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love him. I think his voice is great. I think he's great. And this one, if you can kind of tell by the difference in drape, this one is a different composition. So this is a yak silk fingering. I got this in yak silk because it makes the yak silk dyes up a little bit darker, a little bit deeper, a little bit moodier than like a superwash base does. So I was really curious about seeing that in person. I love a deep navy blue. I think a lot of us do. So I was really excited for this kind of like Yale Richard color. I've also been really intrigued by the yak. So this is 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% yak. And it's 438 yards in a 100 gram skein. I had a thought. Thinky thoughts. Yes, yak. So I've not knit with yak before, and I don't have any local yarn stores that stock anything with yak, but I've been seeing this base kind of coming out. I'm looking at the pictures. I really liked how deep the color was coming out on this base, and I've been really intrigued by that yak percentage and kind of how it feels against the skin. So I thought I'd get this and I'd make a shawl. And a huge surprise. Mackenzie makes a shawl. So yeah, so that's the goal with this. I have no idea what shawl. It'll be a single skein. It'll be lacy. I'm very excited to, because I kind of wanted like a cowl or a shawl or something with this. So I'm very excited about this yarn. It's very soft too. So I was a little bit worried because like merino is, I know some people don't, it doesn't bother. It feels a little rough on my skin. I have fairly sensitive skin. So I can wear things with merino. I usually do cardigans if I have merino in anything. And then I wear long sleeves underneath of it. Just because I have sensitive skin and I live in a very dry climate. Yeah, Alaskan winter dry is its own beast. And so when I'm wearing a heavier garment, my skin's already sensitive because of the dryness. Merino's not a good combination. Alpaca I'd be okay with. So I was curious with the yak. And so far I like it. We'll see how that goes as it gets knit and worn. Most of this is going to be yarn today. So this is from the EKF Explore Knits and Fibers Summertime Sadness Serotonin mini collection that they did. And these are blowing out a little bit. Yeah. This I'm very excited about. I have more skeins of this because these are going to be an Easy V sweater. My brain was saying cardigan. It's not what it is. It's a sweater. An Easy V sweater by Boiling Knitworks. Caitlin Hunter. So we've got Olympic National Park. What is this? Sheepish. Barrel aged sour. Is that? That's a little more true to color. and Rain Shadow. Yeah, so these are my 3 colors for the color work on the top, the kind of staggered blocks. If you've not seen an Easy V, I'll pop a picture up. I've made one before. I sit, like most people do, I think, in between eases. And so I went with a larger ease last time, and I like it a lot, but it is very much like I have to wear it with like flowy clothing. It's a little bit big on my frame, so I'm going with the smaller ease this time. And that's something that I've learned with my knitting, that I prefer. I thought that I like, because I like sweaters to be like, hoodies and things to be bigger and comfier, so that was kind of what I was doing my knitting ease towards. And I found that in knitted garments, I actually like it to usually fit with the lesser ease. So I'm making myself another Easy V with these, which I was really excited. I wasn't planning on shopping that collection, even though like I love Rain Shadow. I've been really wanting some of this, just because like I could afford the yarn, but I was kind of like, well, I should be saving. And then Allie shared a picture with these 3 next to each other, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I have loved her barrel-aged sour color for a very long time, but again, I don't wear a lot of pink. I wasn't going to make a sweater with this. I wasn't going to make a hat with it. Like, it just, so while I loved it, I just never bought it. And then I saw it with these, and I was like, oh, I can do the stripes like this, where the green's at the top, so the pink will never be super close to my face. And I'll have the Rain Shadow for the rest of the body. And I'm making sure that this is sandwiched, because these are, you can see, like, they're different, but reading them in a sweater, like they're way too close. They're going to be a very subtle contrast. So sandwiching sheepish in between the other 2, and then Rain Shadow. So I'm very excited for it. I'm thrilled to be able to use barrel-aged sour in something. And yeah, I just saw that colorway, and I was like, oh my god, I have to have that. I have to have that. And I had a sweater in mind for it. So I also got a skein for my mom. Least surprising phrase ever. This is Allie's. Oh, and these are the Carlsbad worsted. All of these skeins are, so it's 100% superwash merino, 218 per 100 grams, 218 yards per 100 grams. I've worked with it before. My other Easy V is actually in Allie's yarn. They're in her Carlsbad worsted base, and it's from the her Ireland collection. It's all solids. I didn't do variegates for that one, but so I know I'm going to like the feel of the yarn. I know how the yarn works, so I'm very excited for that sweater. The other skein I got, it's a little bit duskier in person, but it is Desert Bloom, and this is from the serotonin side. All of my yarn is from the sadness side of the mini collection. This is from the serotonin side. It's just, there's just some colors that I just look at and I'm like, oh hey, that's my mom, and I tend to nab them. So it's sock yarn. I'll either do a single skein shawl for her because she really likes those, or I'll do socks because she really likes those. It's really straightforward, but really beautiful color. Very excited. I love that her palette's so different than mine, because I get to play with just the most fun yarns. Switching over to commercial yarn purchase, I got this skein of Heritage Prints by Cascade Yarns. This is, I don't remember the name of it, color 144. So you can see on the side, it shows you kind of what stripe is supposed to make. I've not done a lot with self-striping yarns, mainly because they've not been available at my local yarn stores, and they started stocking this, which is fun because they started stocking this and I went in and found it and bought it a few days after I bought West Yorkshire Spinners online. So I was like, well, I'll try it. I'll play with it, especially since I like heritage yarn. Yeah. It's a flower name, I think. Pressed flower, maybe? Pressed flower, that sounds correct. We'll see. It'll be somewhere. But yeah. So that's super pretty. The West Yorkshire Spinners yarn I went with, I got their Color Lab socks. DK. Which is, it's a little bit, it's British wool. At the DK, it feels a little bit, no, I guess it feels similar roughness. I know sometimes that like tooth feeling can wash out a little bit, but I wear DK weight socks like this in the winter in boots. My feet are very cold and then I don't feel the roughness. It doesn't bother me. And it's not a bad roughness. It's just a little bit rougher than like a superwash merino is going to be, which makes sense. This is the colorway Rock, and I got it because you can see it has those the grays, reds, blacks. It's got these like moody maroon pops. So it's got a kind of vampy, fun color. So I like DK weight socks. No pattern in mind. I might just do vanilla socks. I don't know. We'll see. But like that. I also got a skein of Signature 4-ply Sparkle. This is Nutcracker. When I got this, so my brain just shut off. So yeah, so no one where I live stocks West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's only recently that the online yarn store I use in the States has started stocking West Yorkshire Spinners, which then of course my friends in the UK were like, oh, you should use Wool Warehouse. They ship worldwide and the shipping's super affordable. And I have more yarn coming from Wool Warehouse now is what you need to know from that conversation. Because they've all been talking about yarn smiths forever, and I've been super jealous because it looks so pretty and it looks so nice. But I can't get that over here, and now I can for £4.99 shipping, which is nothing to Alaska. So, you know, that's where we're at. No, I'm really excited about it. I'm very grateful they shared that information with me. But I bought this because I'd seen it in some of Kelly's podcasts. I think she made her son a pair of socks in the Nutcracker colorway. And I loved them. I was kind of just resigned to the fact that I would never be able to buy it. And then it was in stock on my local yarn store. I was kind of just looking for, I was buying a yarn skein that I'll show you in a second, for a project specifically. So I was like, well, as long as I'm here and I'm making a purchase, I might as well go noodle and see if they've gotten any different West Yorkshire yarn Signature 4-ply colorways. Because they used to have a couple, but they only ever carried the solids. And they have like a whole set of Christmas ones on. So I went with Nutcracker because, well, I mean, come on. And you can see the sparkles. Like, it's beautiful. How do you not want this? If they're not your colors, or you don't like sparkly socks, or you don't knit sock yarn. There's lots of reasons you might not want this. But I very much did want this. And so I have it. And I'm very excited to make some Christmas socks for myself this year, because I keep saying I'm going to make Christmas socks, and then I never make Christmas socks because I don't buy Christmas sock yarn. So, yeah. So this is the skein, and I had them cake it for me because I didn't want to deal with it. This is the skein of yarn that I got on to purchase. This was my intentional purchase. This is Fiber Spates. It's their Gleam Lace. You can see me trying to read it. And it's Deep Forest, I think is the colorway. Deep Forest. I'll pop it up below. But can we get it to where are you gonna show? A little bit. You can kind of see some of those darker green notes. So this I got to go with these. I'm not pulling them out of the bag because I don't want to fidget with it. So these silvery cloudy beads. This is for the Boo Knits Mystery Mystery Knit Along that she runs every October, and my friend Shelly usually does it. She's been knitting so many Boo Knit shawls this year, and they're just so beautiful and so lacy, and I wanted to make one for a while. I haven't gotten around to it. And the MCAL theme this year is Enchantress. And I was like, you know, Shelly shared it on Kelly's Discord, and I was kind of like, I've wanted to make one of her shawls for forever. I've wanted to make a lace shawl with beads for forever because I've just been really curious about that. I've never done it. And like at the end of it, even if it's not my favorite lace, it's still going to be a pretty lace shawl. And I'm going to wear it around my neck, and like it's still going to be a nice lace shawl. Even if it's not my ideal lace shawl, it's still going to be a good lace shawl. And I was like, I'm going to join this year. I'm like, I'll do that with you, Shelly. Because I would like to do an MCAL that I like the finished results. I have yet to finish one because I get into it and then I see the halfway results and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. And so then I stop because I'm not going to put time into knitting something I don't enjoy and I won't use. So, yeah, so I'm excited for that. My vibe was kind of, I don't know, like Bog Witch with like drops of mist in her shawl. It's a theme. It makes sense in my head. Just already lifting up. These are my final acquisitions, final things I've acquired this month. If you saw my last podcast, I think I talk about the this project bag. That's what it's called. It's a project bag. I talked about this project bag and the Born Fuzzy Boutique. They sell with one of the dyers I use, an Alaskan dyer at the State Fair every year. Last year I wasn't wild about their designs for their project bags. Like the fabric was all pretty, but like just the style of the bag itself, I didn't really care for it. So I didn't get one last year. I was hoping that this year they would have better ones. Not better ones. Ones that I liked better. That's the correct way to say that. And they did. So I got a new project bag. It's very pretty. It's got the nice open flat bottom. Can fit a fingering weight sweater in it. Or a top, a vest probably. It's got pockets with that nice easy magnet. It's got a ton of pockets. I had the pockets. I know people like pockets. I have all of my notions live in this. So I just chuck this into whatever project bag I have, or I get a bigger bag that I chuck my project bag and that into. So I don't use all of the little pockets. It's kind of nice. Blue interior. I like little squirrels and like you can kind of see some foxes and things. I don't use the pockets, so they're not a draw for me. They're not a detriment. They're nice, but I don't use them. So, but I really liked that. I thought that was just super pretty. And she had some that were drawstring, not zipper. But the drawstrings were like, this has like decently hefty drawstrings and it has a handle. The drawstring ones this year were much thinner cord and they didn't have handles. And so I use these sometimes like you do with project bags where you hang it off your arm and you knit out of them. So not having the handle on the drawstring ones was a negative for me. But each to their own. I also got this smaller project bag again, flat bottom. It's got a cute little clip. It's elastic fabric. Just realized I never actually looked on the inside of this. And it's fun. It's got a fun purpley kind of net style fabric on the inside. I just really liked the bunnies. I think it was pretty reasonable. This one was $45. I think this was $27. So pretty decent, especially for state fair prices. And I saw the little bunnies and I was like, that's coming home with me. I love that. I love bunnies. So cute. So cute. So yeah. So that is what I have for acquisitions, knitting things. If you watched the last one, you will know that I have not put out a tester call for my crown shy socks. I was having a bit of a struggle trying to figure out yardage, and the maths was doing my head in, and I just stopped. I got some help from Kelly and some I'm now getting it figured out. So I will be putting out the tester call. Not today. Today is, I mean, I'm filming this on Sunday. I'm posting it on Monday. So for y'all, it is today. I'm going to put out the tester call at the same time that I post this. So I'm going to have the link. I'm going to do a Google form, and I'll have it up for about 24 hours, I think. And then I'm planning on having the test run for 3 to 4 weeks. I'll have decided by the time I post. I'm leaning towards 4 weeks because I want people to finish a sock and then get started on the second one, because I just want to make sure that the numbers I've calculated for how the design goes works. So I'm leaning towards 4 weeks, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'll be finishing that pattern, the math on that pattern tonight. I will be posting the test call tomorrow, which is exciting and terrifying all at one time, but it's kind of an important step in actually publishing the pattern. I think, I know some people don't do testers, but I think it's important to have people actually make sure that, like, your design does what you say it will. Yeah. So, and testers will get a copy of the pattern for free at the end. Yeah. And if I can figure out codes, probably a code for a free pattern later, because I only have the tester. The crown shy socks will be my only one. Anywho, yes, so that's coming. Life updates, like I've said a couple times, September is super busy. I have I have one long trip, I have one short trip, and then like between work and things, like programming starting up again, it's just, it is what it is. So I'm not gonna be super stressed about knitting a lot this month. I hit a slump usually in August into the beginning of September, and so I've not blocked, so I'm pretty happy with that. I hit it with reading too. It just is. It's kind of what happens to me this time of year, and I know that now, and so I kind of just account for it. So, yeah. So I'm not super stressed about it, but I just kind of go into it knowing that I'm gonna just be moving a little bit slower, and things aren't gonna be kind of churning like they do sometimes. I'm also contemplating, because I know that not everybody who watches podcasts cares for book updates and booky type things, as in bookish, not as in booky gambling. So I'm kind of thinking that I'll do a separate book video, probably between the mid-month check-in and the end-of-month wrap-up, so that third week of the month, doing a separate book video where I can just talk about the books I read, or I don't know, book things. Book things. I work in a library. I'm trying to be a librarian. I like talking about book things. So that's what I'm thinking. It's probably what's gonna happen. We'll see. Because again, like I said, September's busy, so I'll see how that works with September plans. So yeah, that's the plan. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, that is all I have. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to everyone who's subscribed. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, drop a comment, consider subscribing, all of the good YouTube things. So yeah, thank you guys very much. I hope you guys have a great start to September and good back to school time for everybody who's got that going on. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.